Welcome to I Drink, Therefore I Am, a think tank media podcast hosted by international spirits educator and whiskey ambassador Martin C. Duffy. Each episode, Marty sits down with distillers, brand builders, and industry insiders to talk about the craft, the culture, and the business behind the spirits world. Pour yourself something appropriate, and let's get into it.
Hello, I'm Martin Duffy, and welcome to I Drink, Therefore I Am. How are you? I'm a former master of whiskey for Diageo and the current North American brand representative for Glencairn Crystal, the wonderful whiskey glass folks. This show is going to be all about the drink industry, talking about different aspects from everything from production into the current state of affair of drinks, alcoholic beverages, what's the climate out there. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a bit of a journey. Today, my guest is John Angus. John is from York, England. That's right. He's British. And he's bringing the accent with him. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Now, this is going to be a treat because I very rarely speak to actual scientists. Not that I don't want to. They just don't talk to me. So this will be fun. John, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. So as you said, I'm a scientist. I'm a chemist originally with a background in biorenewables. So that basically just means anything organic. I've been posting a lot of content on LinkedIn about the science behind whiskey and spirit production.
Yeah, and that's what caught my eye. I'm on LinkedIn every day, and I see you posting every day. And you have these great infograms accompanied by kind of a rundown of a breakdown of whatever the topic might be at the time. What got you into doing that? What got you into creating those and doing all these little deep dives in the various aspects of distilling?
So it kind of started in my last workplace. As I mentioned, I've got a background in biorenewables, and in my last workplace, we were doing a lot of work that was looking at valorizing organic waste. So trying to get the most money out of organic waste. And that could be through things like anaerobic digestion. It could be through extracting high value chemicals, fermentation, whatever it might be. And because of that, got to work with a few breweries and distilleries in the local area around York. And, when you get to work with these companies, you're always encouraged to go for a site visit, see how the sauce is made. And just seeing everything, it stuck with me. And it's something that I thought for years I'd love to do. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to try and, get on LinkedIn. I'm going to try and network with people, maybe share a bit about what I'm learning. And it's just snowballed since then. So, that's basically where I come from.
Well, so you're a chemical engineer.
Chemist.
Or chemist. But couldn't you go work for a distillery if you wanted to, if that, that little passion is burning inside you?
Yeah, I absolutely could. There are only a couple around York.
Yeah, but don't you live south of a little place called Scotland?
Just south.
That's sort of famous for
couple of
making
100
whiskey.
miles. Yeah, I don't think the wife would take well to me insisting that we just move.
Yeah, but I know of a number of consultants here in the U.S. who travel not only domestically all over the place, and that's thousands of miles. And most, in fact, I know one guy. He's a consultant. He lives in Florida. He's currently consulting on a distillery in Hawaii. I mean, I don't know. That's like a 12. I don't know if that's 12 hours flight. It's nuts. That's crazy. I think it's 5 hours just from LA to Hawaii.
Wow.
So for maybe 9 or 10 hours. So you went to these distilleries. Have you gone further afield than just locally? Well, it's interesting. I think if you threw it out there, I bet a lot of distilleries would love to have you come in and visit, sit down, maybe even consult.
And that is something I would absolutely love, and something that I definitely want for the future. Yeah, I just feel like I've been doing this for about 6 months now, just trying to make a bit of a name, just trying to make a bit of a space for it. And now just starting to think about what I might do with this, like if it could be something.
This has only been 6 months. It seems like, the amount of content you've put out in that time, it's incredible.
Yeah.
How long does it take for you to create each one of these infograms and the research behind them? It seems, are you drawing from content you already built up over the years, or?
No, so the graphics themselves, once I know what I want to do, don't take too long, and it's more the research side of it, but it's stuff that I find really interesting to research anyway. And a lot of these things, a lot of what I've posted so far, they are drawn from, quite complex science, but I'm just trying at the moment to really aim to just make sure that it's accessible for everyone. So I'm not diving deep into it. I'm just trying to do a sort of like an entry level into the science behind it. So there is a lot of literature out there. It's not too difficult to actually do the research for.
I have to admit, I love them. I look forward to them. I share them every time, each and every day. And I have to admit that when it comes to this kind of level of information on distilling and chemical breakdown of the various spirits, because you don't do just whiskey. I've seen you've done tequila and rum.
Absolutely.
And even wine. Did you do a wine one too?
Wine, champagne, tequila. I even did shochu once. Yeah. So I've done quite a few now.
See, a lot of that stuff, woo, right over here, woo, flew over my head. However, the infograms, what really caught my eye, because I love those things, because they do help break down much more complicated aspects of distilling and just alcohol in general. So I think it's great for consumers.
Thank you.
And that's why I know you're working on a book.
Absolutely.
And how far along are you on that? I know it's a uphill battle, but
yeah, just a bit. It's I'm currently in the mapping out stage, so I'm trying to decide what's going where, what's going to be the structure of it. Is it going to just be one or multiple? I'm just in the mapping stages at the moment. And like you say, I have put out quite a bit, so I won't be starting from nothing, because I already have quite a bit that I can already draw from. But I really want to make sure that I'm telling the story that I want. I want to make sure that it all makes coherent sense, and really that it all builds to that big picture, which is that every spirit is unique, every whiskey is unique, and that's something to really be celebrated by distilleries. And I think sometimes when you look at bottles, you don't necessarily see that they are so distinct and unique. And I think that it's something that, I'm not saying that I've got all the answers, but maybe something where, if you understand the science of it a little bit better and how all these flavors are built in from the different production steps, then maybe you can start to really sell why your spirit is so unique.
Well, and that's a great point. Years and years ago, I was on a panel, and this was just of Scotch makers, single malt Scotch makers, here in Chicago during a whiskey fest. And there was a roundtable panel, and everybody was asked why why do so many single malt scotches have a maritime character to them? Is it in the aging process? However, there's a bunch that don't. Yet, some that are aged by the sea have it. Some that are aged by the sea don't. It was funny. There must have been 12 of us around this table, and there was 12 different opinions on it. And I always thought that would be fascinating. There's an old story about when, why am I blanking on his name? Peter, he started Lefroy, or he owned Lefroy at one point, and then he moved over from Lefroy to Lagavulin, and he wanted to duplicate Lefroy. So he brought over the distiller. He's the same water, made the stills the same shape, everything. And he tried to duplicate it. And even though it's less than a mile away from each other, he couldn't. He just couldn't. It was still a good whiskey, but it was very different. And I always found that really fascinating, especially in Scotland, where was there about 150 to 160 distilleries. They all basically have the same process, use the same ingredients, but very different. Whether they're peated or non-peated, very different from each other. And I find it very mystical, very mysterious thing.
Absolutely. And, that mystery is nice, and it can absolutely sell whiskey, the mystery of it. But I think that there's also a growing number of people that want to know why that flavor exists, why it tastes different, why just a distillery just a mile up the road, like you say, tastes so different. And it all comes down to a number of choices that you make along the way. Do you take your grain from maybe a different farm that's maybe had slightly different rainfall, or maybe it's got different soil? Do you take it where it's been malted at different temperatures? Do you mash it for longer or shorter? Ferment it with a different yeast strain to have different cut points, whatever it might be. All these decisions just accumulate. You just end up with a unique expression every single time. And I think that that's fantastic. And I think that more people want to know about that and why that is. So it's a little bit of it. Yeah.
I think it's something to, deep dive. You should take the missus to, take her to Isla for a little vacation, for a long weekend.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
And then just go around, visit. Plus, there's some cool little stuff. I have a blanket from the Isla Woolen Mill, same place that made all the tartans for Braveheart and Rob Roy, the two movies. Yeah. So there, boom. Should go.
Definitely more reason to go.
So I'm also interested. So why you start posting these, and now you post these mostly on LinkedIn?
Yes.
Have you started posting them on other social media? Because there's loads of whiskey groups, especially on Facebook, and I'm assuming elsewhere. And probably Instagram would eat these up.
Absolutely. I have started slowly. I just kind of felt like LinkedIn was a good place for it. These graphics breaking down the science behind, the different processes, I felt that they were possibly more aimed at, say, producers of whiskey, maybe tour guides around it, and more the actual production staff, rather than, say, to the general consumer. Not to say that the general consumer wouldn't enjoy them, but just more, I think that production staff might appreciate them a bit more. And there's more of them, I'd say, probably on LinkedIn than other sites. So that's why I focus more on there.
I think I reposted one of yours on absinthe. And I saw some guys. I knew one of them was a big absinthe fan. And I think they had some flack for you on something. But Again, it was above my head. I've gone, I don't know. I know of absinthe. I don't know beyond a certain amount. I don't know that much about absinthe. So when they start getting into this, start going down some kind of little rabbit hole with it, do you get a lot of that from folks on any of the information you put out? You get a little...
Not a great deal. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I make mistakes. It happens, maybe
Is it you? Is it you making the mistakes, or is it them? Come on, don't have to be modest.
No, I mean, sometimes I put my hands up. I do make mistakes. Sometimes maybe it's the way in which I've tried to explain something that's caused a bit of, misinterpretation. But sometimes it happens, not too often. And the feedback generally has been quite positive, I'd say.
Well, so being on LinkedIn and trying to reach out to folks in the industry, how much of the industry have reached out? Have you gotten a lot of response from folks saying, hey, John, can you help me with this? Or, hey, what do you think about that? Or could you look into this for us?
I've had a bit. Yeah. I've had quite a few people inquiring about, say, the graphics or a book or whatever it might be. I've had people genuinely coming to me with quite interesting questions. They want to talk about the water, the malt, the type of oak that they're using. Like, they come to me with quite a lot of questions.
It would be fascinating to have you and Pat Heist. I don't know if ever heard of Pat, Dr. Pat Heist, actually. He is with Wilderness Trail here in the States, down in Kentucky. And he's quite the go-to guy for yeast, distilling yeast. They have a whole lab down there. I think you'd have a fun time, and probably be a really good time for you guys to have a chat. I think that'd be kind of cool, especially because you don't see a lot of folks, even though most distilleries are owned by these international corporations. There's not a lot of exchange of information. There's a little more now than there was 20 years ago, but there's still a lot of folks that in Scotland couldn't tell you much about bourbon, and vice versa. They'll know the rudimentary stuff, but I always found that interesting. Why wouldn't you want to deep dive into what the other categories are doing and see how that might help?
Well, I think that lends itself to that mysticism that you were talking about. They've had a yeast that's been handed down over generations that they've been using, and they've got a specific mash bill that they're not going to deviate from, and it works. So, until something happens where it isn't going to work, or you're forced to innovate and produce maybe different products, you're not really going to know a great deal about your yeast or what it does or why it does what it does. So I get it, but I think it is interesting times at the moment. There's much more hunger for that sort of information.
Yeah. Pat actually revived dead yeast for the Limestone distillery, Limestone branch. Stephen Beam had an old yeast pot with some dead yeast that his father used when he was a distiller. And he was able to actually bring the yeast back to life. So then Stephen could use it in his whiskey. But weird. Looks like we're just about out of time. These go fast, man. But John, I'd love to have you back on because there's so much more. Plus, as your book gets going, baby, I want to see it. I want you to compile all those articles you've been putting on LinkedIn. I think that would make a good book.
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody, you can see down there, you want to reach out to John, you can do so on LinkedIn. I don't think we put up your email, but LinkedIn. Oh, there you go. And your email. Reach out to John if you have any questions. Reach out to me if you have any questions, or you want to order some Glencairn glasses. But in the meantime, thank you very much, and we'll see you the next time you have a drink.
Thanks for spending time with us on I Drink, Therefore I Am. You can watch every episode of the podcast inside Hospitality Nexus, a global, human-first platform bringing the hospitality ecosystem together in one place. Inside the Nexus, it's a career fair that never closes, connecting industry leaders, educators, students, employers, and partners through real presence. Create your free account and explore the community at www.hospitalitynexus.org. And until next time, sip thoughtfully, drink responsibly. Sláinte.